Yeah, it's very interesting because I also saw you during the Gen Z protest. You were very active into the protests. So I think from the whole shenanigans, we got to learn a lot as Kenyans, and it just showed us what we can do when we sort of unite together based on ideas, based on something that we really think is not right. So we were literally partyless, right? Tribeless, leaderless. But I think we sort of shook the establishment, the government, in terms of how it needs to run its affairs. So what was your take? What was your takeaway?
I went for all the protests. I think it's one time I felt the most proud being a Kenyan. I know in my car, the flags we used to use, because they used to tell us dress in black, come with a flag and a Colgate. So even today, I've tied the flag in the car, and it's such a memory. Like I really felt proud being a Kenyan. We never thought we'd find ourselves in this situation. We never thought we were going to be activists. I think every Kenyan turned to be an activist. I think this regime has pushed Kenyans to the corner. Kenyans are very peaceful people. By the way, they are very patient people. Kenyans will take as much nonsense as possible, but I think now this was just too much. The finance bill, of course, touched the pocket. When you touch people's pockets, oh, that's something. For me, I felt proud as a Kenyan. For the first time, I felt a Kenyan. Okay, I feel a Kenyan when Kenyans are running. Like when Kipchoge is winning, you feel so Kenyan. So this time, I felt like that. Like I was really a Kenyan. We are fighting for something. We came together. For first time. Let's not even talk about saying we were tribeless. We actually felt it. You actually felt you're a Kenyan. You actually didn't have a tribe. I made so many friends in the streets. Even today, we are friends, People that we could share scarves. We could hide each other in the buildings when tear gas was too much. We became a family, And that's a moment I felt really a Kenyan. And I think we were very successful. I demonstrated. And let me shock you, in this process of demonstration, when the running was too much, the tear gas was too much, you would sit on the, those aisles, not the streets, those aisles that connect the streets, where people have their shoes polished. And we would sit, like 3 places or 4 places, and we chap a story, hey, your tear gas, hey, your ilikuwa pink sijui. And in one of those instances, I was chapping stories to some 2 guys next to me and said, hey, these gavas really sukumadas, Can't they just listen, And, we gas, and the tear gas is thrown. They ask me for the Colgate, and you share the Colgate. And we sat there like for an hour, actually just next to Nation Center. We sat there for an hour. And then when they just woke up and left, and I was left there seated, the shoe guy was there. Then he said, hey, unajua ulikuwa unachapa story na NIS. And I was like, what? And I was like, maybe even them, they are feeling Kenyan. Then they're just feeling Kenyan. So we were so united. By then, let me tell you, we were sharing those Colgates within the police. Even the police themselves, watarusha tear gas tukipatana kwa kona shika kidogo, tumaji nini. We were so Kenyan. And let me tell you, Brian, the seed that was sown in May, June, we've never had that in this country. That seed was sown. And once you sow a seed, the only thing that the seed can do is grow. The successes of the Gen Z demonstration, of course, the falling, the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024, actually that's not the win. It is a seed that was sown in this country by that demonstration. We are reaping even today, and we are going to reap in so many years. We are going to reap the benefits. Because I say the blood that was poured is actually an ingredient of the seed that was sown. It never goes in vain. It will never go in vain. It will never. Even in another 100 years, it will never go in vain. It is sad that we lost people. I was stuck huku nyuma because I didn't want to die. I didn't want to break my leg. I'm way older than the Gen Z, but I was there with them like crazy. I was there. We tried to penetrate to Parliament. I didn't get to Parliament, but just close to Parliament. And I could see these young people are very different from my generation. By the way, the Gen Z, I learned a lot of things from them. They pulled me from a cocoon. And I would think even this confidence I have today to speak, it was planted then. Because I realized someone has to speak, someone has to do something. The thing I learned from the Gen Z is, watch a woga. Do something. You want to do something? Just go ahead and do it. Stop thinking about people say, don't be afraid. We live once. Just do it well. At the end of the day, it's either you do it or you don't. So you'd rather be in the population or the people that do it. And we are reaping until now. See now, we called ourselves tribeless. And my candidate, Okia Omtata, was actually a Gen Z hero. They didn't even think he's a hero because he fights for Kenyans, and he's really fought for Kenyans. When you listen to Okia's story, you're like, actually, when you sit with him, you're shocked. He tells you the 999 toll line, the free line toll number, had actually been withdrawn by the government. He went to court, it was restored. He tells you Kenya National Theatre was being grabbed by Moi. Moi alikuwa amemwaga mpaka mchanga na mawe. He chained himself in that building, demonstrated. KNT, we still have it today. We know the victories. This is a juicy. He's actually the one who made sure that he went to court and the Finance Bill 2023 was withdrawn, though it was restored by the Supreme Court. But that is his victory. He went to case on small things like Butere girls not being allowed to go for a national festival. Yeah, he fights for people. Where there is an injustice, he fights for people. So the Gen Z identified with him because he's a fighter for the people. And the Gen Z want nothing to do with corruption. They didn't want anything to do with things like what? They didn't want to do inefficiency, tribalism. Ndio tulikuwa tunasema tuko tribeless. And let me tell you, anyone who underestimates the Gen Z in the coming election 2027 is foolish. They are going to be a force to reckon with. So, to me, but there were lessons. That demonstrations were lessons for me. I participated, but I learned a lot as a person.